Joe Needley and this is Serious About Rugby League. Now in this video I'm going to bring you the team of the week from round 3 of the Betfred Super League. It was absent last week due to Storm Ciara calling off 2 games, and even though we had Storm Dennis this weekend, all 6 games continued regardless. Now on to the team, and now for coach this week, a rather difficult choice is Chris Chester. His Wakefield had a good win thanks to him leading from the front over Warrington, as well as to the Catalan Dragons under Steve McNamara getting a big win over the Castleford Tigers. But the man I've gone for St Helens is Christian Wolff. Now Wolff really did have big shoes to fill, replacing Justin Holbrook from last season. And even though he's inherited a top team, such form displayed in their second half win over Hull FC. The Saints found themselves 6-2 down, only to come back big in the second half and go into next week's World Club Challenge with a huge win over the Black and Whites. And maybe they have Christian Wolff to thank for that, considering he's their head coach leading from the front. Now on to fullback. A couple of choices. There were a couple of choices for this one, but of course only one can be chosen. Bevan French of Wigan and Jack Walker of Leeds. They performed really well. French scoring 2 tries, as well as Jack Walker getting over the line for the Rhinos and providing an assist. But the one I've gone for is hat-trick hero Sam Tompkins. He might not be the most popular player in the Super League, but his hat-trick against the Castleford Tigers, even assisting in a couple of other tries, really did see him wind back the years and therefore deserving a place in the team. The wingers, now another difficult choice this one, as Ken Searle of Salford had a strong game, as did Joe Burgess of Wigan, but it was hard seeing past Leeds duo Luke Briscoe and Ash Hanley, so both of them have been selected. Briscoe provided 2 try assists, managed 7 tackle busts, as well as 189 metres from 16 carries. So it was difficult seeing past him. As well as Ash Hanley, who scored a try, 3 tackle busts and 186 metres. Included in that is his breakaway try, of course, that he scored. So even though it was a difficult choice for the wingers, those 2 only just stood out and therefore are chosen. The centres, perhaps the most controversial and difficult choice of the lot this one, as Harry Newman of Leeds had a strong game with 2 tries and 1 assist for Leeds' win over Hull KR. But the very controversial Israel Folau, who scored a try in his debut, is chosen. Folau's inclusion not only saw him score a try, but performed quite strongly during the game. 94 metres from 14 carries as well as 12 tackles. Not bad for someone rather unpopular, but on the field you can't discredit his skill. Now joining him is a man who actually lost his game this week. Is Hull FC's Carlos Tumavave. Tumavave scored 2 tries in Hull's defeat against St Helens, made 20 tackles, 8 busts and 148 metres from 13 carries. He's a man who perhaps has really gone under the radar in recent years, and that has continued to go in this season. But Tumavave did show why he's so important to the Black and Whites, despite being on the wrong end of a scoreline, and why he'll be important in weeks to come for them. At standoff, not as a difficult choice, as we had a few contenders though in this one. Harry Smith of Wigan, the youngster, scoring a try, and he stood out in Wigan's win against Toronto. As in Lee Gaskell, he performed strongly for Huddersfield in their narrow win at Salford, and James Maloney scoring 12 points for the Dragons. But a man who has been described by the best player in the league, by the current best player, is Johnny Lomax. And now there, Johnny Lomax, he provided 3 try assists for St Helens against Hull FC, completing 15 tackles as well as 5 busts and 158 metres from 19 carries. Therefore, Lomax is the one chosen at standoff. Now, funnily enough, he was described by Jackson Hastings as to be the best player was Lomax, and Hastings is the one who joins him in the halfback position at scrum half. Wigan did start a bit slow against the Wolfpack, but then Jackson Hastings really came to the fore, providing 4 try assists, completing 22 tackles, 5 busts, even putting in 7 attacking kicks and making up to 145 metres from 21 carries for good measure. So a clear choice is Hastings. The prop forwards, now not many stood out completely this week. Of course the prop forwards always have a hard graft and a good slog week in, week out. St Helens' Luke Thompson refound his form, scoring a try for the Saints, completing 26 tackles as well as 107 metres. So therefore he was chosen, as he helped St Helens get on top of Hull FC in a strong second half. But then again, as did substitute Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook, and though he's been recognised as a back rower usually, LMS, the way he came on the field and performed heroically driving the ball forward, could be recognised as a prop forward, especially on Sunday with a try scored as well as 136 metres and 5 tackle busts. Therefore LMS, controversially somewhat, is chosen at prop forward with Thompson. Now at hooker this week, not to be forgotten, of course the hookers always usually have a good hard graft themselves. It's not always about standing out, it is just about doing the general duties such as tackling and carting the ball forward from acting half. Brad Dwyer of Leeds did really well, as did James Bentley for Saints, but the one who really stood out was Huddersfield's Adam O'Brien. O'Brien set things in motion for the Giants, scoring a try in their narrow win at Salford, but what really won him the plaudits was his 53 tackles in the game that helped keep Salford restricted to just 10 points in the narrow win. It's also a win that's kept the Huddersfield Giants as the only side in Super League still unbeaten. Even though it's still early days, that is still quite an achievement in itself, so well done to him and them. Now in the second row, a few stood out here as Alex Mellett and Paulie performed superbly earlier in the week, as did Ben Curry and Zeb Taylor. But the strong contenders here was last year's Dream Team second rower in Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell scored 2 tries in their win over Toronto, as well as making 39 tackles and 106 metres, so therefore he has been chosen. And as has Wakefield's standout player mainly in Matty Ashurst. Ashurst scored the first of their 2 tries in their narrow win over Warrington, as well as making 40 tackles, 4 tackle busts and 84 metres from 13 carries. Ashurst has arguably not been knocking on the international door for some time now. He's always been a true grafter, and he is what inspired Wakefield perhaps to their 18-8 win over the Wolves. Now completing the line-up has been one of Leeds Rhinos' up-and-coming youngsters in Cameron Smith. Though Cameron Smith did face competition for the spot from Benjamin Garcia and Joe Westerman, what helped Smith was not only his 2 tries against Hull KR, but also his 41 tackles, his 3 busts, and of course his 130 metres from 22 carries as well. Smith has been one, despite Leeds' woeful form you could say in recent years, Smith really has become a favourite amongst the supporters and the club, becoming one of their standouts from their academy, and really did perform superbly on Friday, so therefore Cameron Smith is chosen. Let us know whether you agree or disagree with Team of the Week, as that's it in this video for this week for round 3. Let us know if you agree or disagree, as I just said there, and who will stand out in round 4 perhaps. You can comment on our YouTube channel and Twitter and Facebook. That's Serious About Rugby League on all 3. We're even on Instagram as well if you fancy seeing a few photos we put on there. I'm Joe Needley. Thank you for watching.